friends, welcome back to Hot News. Let's go ahead and talk about today's video sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by Skillshare. My friends, in case you haven't heard of them, Skillshare is an online learning community where you can develop new skills, you can start your creative journey, you can expand your world into something that could be beneficial for you going forward in the future. And with a lot of us having maybe a little bit more free time on our hands, Skillshare would be a great way to pass the time, taking some courses, learning how to become better in certain skills, such as street photography, with Craig Whitehead's course on unlocking the secrets of composition, color, and confidence. This is actually one of Reece's favorite street photographers, so this is a great course for you to get started in photography. But if photography is not your jam, they got web development, they got freelancing and entrepreneurship. They've got a whole host of categories for you to explore into with thousands of different courses for you to check out. So with the average Skillshare course being under 60 minutes, they can fit into the even busiest of lives and more than affordable, less than $10 per month when you get an annual membership. But guess what? If you click the link in the video description, you can get 2 months for free for the first 500 people who sign up, a free premium membership. 2 months for free to learn and grow and develop. My friends, 2 months free. Let's do it. Click the link in the video description, start developing your skills and your creative journey. Get it going. Skillshare, thanks for sponsoring this video. Okay, with that being done, let's talk about the existential question of the day before we get into the articles, which is, do you actually wash your hands, or do your hands wash each other and you just stand there watching? It's a pretty appropriate question right now, considering how many people are washing their hands. Are they just watching each other and you're a voyeuristic man watching what's going down? It's creepy, but you know what's not creepy? Having a faster Ryzen chip. Yes, my friends, in case you want your Ryzen chips to run faster or potentially you want them to run cooler, well, then Case King out of Germany in partnership with Bauer have come out with a new mounting solution for Ryzen 3000 to make sure that the AIO or water cooling that you might have on your Ryzen CPU chip actually goes over the hot spots and not just the middle, especially with the new Ryzen 3000 chip designs. You have the chiplet set off to one side with a low power IO die in the middle, and the low power IO die obviously isn't the thing that needs to be immediately cooled to get better performance or better boost clocks. It actually needs to be shifted a little bit over to the side to be on those little chiplets. And that's exactly what Bauer and Case King have come out with, which is a mounting mechanism that goes onto your existing backplate that comes with your AM4 motherboard, but slides the cooler over to the side because the rest of it is just empty space on the other side, and the whole IHS dissipates the heat, but there's several hot spots that are caused by those chiplets. And according to Bauer's testing, and you can watch his video right up there, he talked about getting up to 9 degrees Celsius temperature drops because of this mounting solution. So if you want to go over to Case King, you can buy this. It's for $33 US or about 30 euros. So it's actually not a terribly expensive solution in case you want to get just a little bit of extra overclocking headroom, or you want to make sure the temperatures in your system are a little bit lower, especially with everybody needing to save a little bit of money right now. $30 isn't so bad. But then let's go ahead and talk about PlayStation 5. It's supposed to be announced today, but we're filming Hot News before that happens. It's going to happen at 12 p.m. Eastern time. We're filming before even 10 a.m. So the details will be out there. We've had already streamed this. I already know what it is by the time you're listening to me, so you should know what it is too. On top of that, AMD has announced its Ryzen 9 CPUs, the Ryzen 9 4900H, which is supposed to be going into laptops, 8 cores, 16 threads, 35 watts, up to 4.3 gigahertz base. They're saying that this is going to be one of the fastest mobile processors out on the market. Should be quite good. But in case mobile processors aren't your thing, how about chips that smell? Because that's exactly what Intel has come out with. Intel has come out with a neuromorphic chip that can detect scents. So Intel and Cornell worked on this, and it can recognize the scents of 10 hazardous chemicals. It's using Intel's Loihi technology. It uses an algorithm, it can smell, it can remember scents. There's CPUs that are smelling now, so smell-o-vision for movies should be coming our way sometime soon. I can't wait. Continuing on, Intel, they have announced that they're actually going to be cutting some of its Cooper Lake lineup. And in case you're not familiar with Cooper Lake, it's going to be their high-end desktop version of what's going on right now. So it's supposed to be 14 nanometers. However, they said that there was going to be 56 cores on potentially a single system with dual socket. He had all of that, but they're cutting single and dual socket support for these chips. It's only going to be quad socket and up because they just don't want to release another 14 nanometer iteration. They want to move on to 10 nanometers. And so Cooper Lake, which was supposed to come out to more people, will be coming out to less, but it's not like it was a big upgrade anyways. Speaking of big upgrade though, Intel has some die shots of their Foveros technology, also known as Intel Lakefield. In case you want to see what that looks like, you can check the picture down below in the description. And then we also have a die shot of AMD's Renoir CPUs, which we talked about in a previous episode of Hot News last week. So in case you want to see what that looks like, you can check that in the description as well. Talking about what things look like, that seems to be what TikTok judges who they promote in their algorithm, because there's some publication of the moderation guidelines that TikTok used in order to figure out who to promote. If a person was deemed unattractive, they were silently shadow banned from ever being promoted on TikTok. However, TikTok has come out and said they're also working on their moderation, potentially even making it so that they won't just have exclusively Chinese moderators for the entire world, but instead making things region-based. So US moderators will moderate US content, which makes sense. However, the secret guidelines that came out about TikTok don't necessarily inspire me to try the platform. Now, shifting gears, let's talk about Samsung and their fast storage. They've announced that they're working on mass production of their fastest smartphone storage ever, their eUFS 3.1 standard. It's actually going to be about the same in sequential read speeds, 2.1 gigabytes per second, but it's tripling sequential write speeds, going from 400 megabytes per second to 1200 megabytes per second on mobile storage. Quite fast, quite quick. Woo-woo. And then on top of that, crap. Speaking of fast stuff, Windows 10 got exploded fast on people's computers. There are now 1 billion devices worldwide that are running Windows 10. Speaking of billions though, YouTube, they have billions of users, they make billions of dollars, and it turns out because of Voldemort and restrictions with how they're gonna operate their company, they've announced some things might have to change in the coming days, including auto moderation of content. They're still going to be using algorithms to remove content, but they were using humans to actually review that and make sure that the content removal was justified. Turns out they can't do that when people can't work, so they are just gonna have to let auto moderation stick for right now, and the algorithm will remove videos without chance of appeal until things settle down with Voldemort and people can return to work, which kind of sucks, but I also understand that they still need a way to remove stuff, because you could imagine that the world is breaking down due to Voldemort, and then people start uploading crazy crap to YouTube, everyone gonna be freaking out. So erring on the side of caution here is what YouTube has to do, and I completely understand it. And also with that, Google has also said that Android app approval may take longer because of workers having to work remotely or not at home. But you know who's not slowing down any sort of approval process? Tesla, because they've begun delivery of the Model Y. It's out there, it's happening right now. So in case you ordered a Model Y, you were one of the first, you might be getting it soon. However, if you lost your job in the meantime, not sure how you're gonna pay for that. And Tesla is determined to stay alive during the face of Voldemort, saying that they are an essential business and that they're not gonna go on the lockdown like they've been asked to, or change their company practices as far as how many workers they have. But then it came out that the Alameda County Sheriff has come out and said, no, Tesla, you're not an essential business. We need you to follow our lockdown procedures. You're going to have to do the things that we've told you to do, because Alameda County has a shelter in place order right now that requires all non-essential businesses to close and things to change. So Tesla trying to stay afloat, which makes sense. Obviously, they have huge deliveries to send out with the Model Y now coming out. If they stop that, that's going to potentially really hurt their bottom line. And considering they're always on a shoestring budget as far as surplus and how much money they're making, they just became profitable. This could be a very dark time for Tesla coming up. Speaking of dark times, Taiwan has announced that they're banning all foreign visitors. So they're going to be locking down the airports, nobody coming in, nobody potentially going out. A mandatory 14-day quarantine happening starting on tomorrow, Thursday, March 9th. However, in the face of that, with the country of Taiwan shutting down, Computex has still not canceled.
Come on, Computex.
What the hell? Computex happens before E3. E3 is canceled. Everything that happens in June is canceled already. What are you doing, Computex? Nobody's coming to your event now. Not even if Taiwan opens up its borders again. I'm not going. I know dozens and dozens and dozens and hundreds of people will not show up to this thing. Bad, Computex. Bad. You get no points from me. And speaking of getting no freaking points from me, Publix, what the hell are you doing with your workers? No, I'm serious. Jayson, keep this in. I went to the grocery store this morning because I had to buy groceries for my family. Makes sense, right? There's tons of vulnerable people out there. We're in Florida. They're trying to buy their groceries. But Publix refuses to give their workers masks, gloves, and proper sanitation equipment. For some reason, it might freak out the public. That's bullcrap. And you actually need to protect your frontline workers, okay? Publix, stop being jerks. Make sure that the people who are handling our groceries, who are national heroes right now because they're keeping everything going in the face of a public crisis, they need to be taken care of more than your bottom line. This is bullcrap. Moving on to Overwatch League. They've announced that they're going to have an online-only schedule for spring. This is in the face of them canceling matches. They're working out a way to make things go forward because of Voldemort. And then on top of that, and I'm going to keep saying on top of that, dang it, DoorDash is waiving some of its commission fees for local restaurants, just like we talked about Uber Eats waiving some fees yesterday with the restaurants. Waymo has also decided that it's going to cancel all rides that have any people involved, and only automated trips are going to continue to happen. And then in some bigger news, Amazon has announced that they're going to prioritize cleaning, medical, and essential supplies going into their warehouses from third parties. So until April 5th, merchants can only ship in-demand goods to the company's warehouses. So if it's in stock now, you can buy it, but if it goes out of stock, it likely won't be restocked for quite some time, because Amazon's seeing that they really need to focus on getting cleaning wipes, all of the essentials that we need during this time into their warehouses. So they're putting a moratorium on everything that's not essential into their warehouses. If they already have it, it should be fine. And if it's something that Amazon produces, it should also be fine. The rules aren't quite clear, but if there's something non-essential that you need right now, obviously businesses run on Amazon. So if you need something for your business, now might be the best time to pick it up. Why is this in the middle of this? Okay, for some reason, I put the League of Legends news here. Teamfight Tactics comes for mobile tomorrow. This has nothing to do with Voldemort, but I put it in the middle of the Voldemort section. Weird, Microsoft is closing all of its stores due to Voldemort, and then Uber is shutting down Uber Carpool because of Voldemort, which makes a little bit of sense. You don't want people in close quarters, but they're not going to shut down Uber, so they're just going to find ways to shut down parts of Uber. Okay, well, that's going to be the end of hot news. Thank you so much for watching. We had a lot of articles, 23 articles. I just wanted to go through them quite quickly today so that you could get the gist of the news that's going out. Don't forget that we live stream hot news every single day. You can follow us over on Twitch, support us there. If you have a free Amazon Prime subscription, you can give that to us for free, and we make money, and it keeps us going during these hard times. Don't forget about today's video sponsor, who also keeps us going during hard times. Don't forget that today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. Go check them out at the link in the video description. Skillshare is a great online learning community, thousands of classes, dozens of different topics. Learn how to be better and start a creative journey with Skillshare. And that's going to be the end of this video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Get subscribed. Publix, stop being douchebags. Okay, give your workers some gloves, some face masks, give them more hand sanitizer. This is a ridiculous time to try to protect the public image. Everybody's freaking out, and I think people would be more courteous to you if you're actually protecting your people. Bye. Sorry for filming late, Jason. I went to the grocery store at 8 a.m. Didn't get home till 9:10. Didn't get to work till 9:30. Now we're filming.